Okay. Anyway, that's not what my rants and ramblings are going to be all about. But if you choose to stay along, just know that probably several videos I'm going to make are going to be about and they're probably going to be a bit random, just the rambling sort. Okay. One of the things I want to talk about is what is it? Let me think about it. What is it? Okay, eventually I'll get to talking about the relationship between Brendan and me. I don't want to if you're looking for all the gory details, you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going to do that, but I will talk about a few things that are relevant to that. And I'm also going to touch upon just a little bit about my Christianity. You know, there have been some comments made about that. And if I think of some other things, while I'm talking, I'll throw those in too. Anyway, so, okay. Which one shall we begin with? Let's talk about Christianity. I have spent a lot of time watching a lot of videos from a variety of those that are in the agnostic, atheistic camps and those that are on the very orthodox camps and those that are somewhere in the middle. I've been reading and watching videos from scientists, theologians, historians, philosophers, on and on and on. And by no means am I a scholar, no means am I an expert on what everybody says. I am not a guru of it all. And so I'm not going to try to persuade you of anything, and I'm not going to enter any of the debates about things. I'm simply going to just comment on my own perspective, what I believe, what I see, how it all comes across to me, and maybe I'll get to where I stand in it all. And let me underscore, I am not attempting to persuade any of you to believe exactly what I believe or to convert. I'm not trying to win you over. I'm not even trying to convince you that I'm right. No, I'm simply just going to put it out there just for whatever it's worth. I guess what makes me want to do this is one time somebody sent me a comment and said, I want you to think da-da-da-da-da-da. And my initial reaction to that was, I don't want anybody telling me what to think, and and I'm sure you don't want anyone telling you what to think. I've used a kind of a cliche statement. I've said, I care about what I think, but the choosing of what I think and how I think about it and the thinking of it is all my doing. And I have to think for myself, and I don't want anyone telling me what to think. But anyway, the basic of my belief, this is some basics about my belief. I do believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I do believe that. I do believe that God raised him from the dead. I do believe that. And no, I am not going to attempt to persuade you of that. There are many sources out there. You consult them and do your own homework, and you come to your own conclusions. I do believe that eventually as the Bible puts it, every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And when we all do that, at that time, we'll understand what it means for him to be Lord more than we understand it now. But, you know, that's the basics of my belief. Now, I will go ahead and kind of get out on a limb of some sort and say that, having said all that, you know, I'm not as persuaded about the issue of hell as I used to be. I don't know as much about hell as I used to know. I have read the Bible from cover to cover, time and time again. And the more I read it, the more I'm picking up on little things that kind of convolute my thinking. You know, and maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's where I am in my lifetime that influences what I think and how I think. I don't know. But I'm not so certain. I'm leaning more and more and more in the direction of a universalist kind of belief that eventually I believe everyone will indeed. I want to be careful. I'm kind of reluctant to say this, but I want to say will indeed be saved. Yeah. You see, I believe that every person, whether they know it or not, whether they believe it or not, every person is a child of God. And what our salvation is about is accepting that, embracing that, and deliberately beginning a journey of accepting oneself as a child of God and growing in God, learning how to live as a child of God. And I'm not talking about how to be holy and how to be pious and how to sound theological or anything like that, but learning more and more what it means to be a child of God. I don't think any of us have come to the point that we know everything, and I think we're all going to have questions throughout all our lives. But I do think there's some basic things, you know, about living as a child of God. And I think some of the clues that the Bible gives us, things like lovers being lovers, peacemakers, and lovers of righteousness, and lovers of mercy. You know, developing ethics that show that we care for one another, that we're not in a hurry to condemn one another, but that we're very interested in helping and living charitably and giving thanks to God as the beginning and the end of all things and our existence and everything that we could ever hope to have and become, you know. And of course, I don't want to get into fine-tuning stuff. I'm not very good about articulating those things. I can read theology and I can read it and read it and read it and say, yeah, I understand. But, you know, when it comes to repeating all of that, that's a different thing. But in a nutshell, yes, I am a believer. I do believe. Now, when I say Christianity, I'm not talking about the party line. You know, I'm not talking about the popular religion, popularly organized religion. There's a lot about within